ANC veterans, they are back for the second day of their national elective conference in Boksburg. It's the first physical gathering in over 2 years. The event kicked off without any challenges yesterday, with veterans calling on the governing party to relook its approach to coalitions and implement stricter measures on vetting party members. Ziniko Mhlaba is following proceedings for us, and he joins us in studio this morning to break down not only today's program, Ziniko, but let's focus on what the veterans are focusing on, and that issue of party membership, needing the party to clean that up. Why is it so important?
I think, the reason they are calling for that is what we've seen in the past few years, where you had senior ANC leaders being convicted for various crimes, at the likes of Matabile Dlamini, had the likes of Tony Yengeni back then. Then you've got the former John Block, the former chairperson of the ANC in the Northern Cape. He's still serving some sentences. So those are some of the topical leaders who had been found to have convictions but remained ANC members. So that the ANC Veterans League is calling for a relook and its approach in terms of the ANC dealing with those issues. So they are saying that the ANC must start having a conversation about should Duduzile Ramelo's being charged, like the Gumede ANC chairperson who's been charged for criminal, should she remain a member of the ANC? And if you have the historical criminal record, what must be done to you? Should you be asked to leave the party, should be expelled, or should you be asked not to stand for any position? So I think the ANC Veterans League is calling for the cleansing of its membership, especially when it comes to credibility, because that's what they've been complaining about. They're saying our membership is questionable, and we've got senior leaders who have questionable characters and who are facing criminal charges. The latest one being the expelled Secretary General of the ANC, the former Premier of the Free State, Ace Magashule. So I think that's why they are really emphasizing the point of making sure that they've got a credible membership within its ranks.
You speak of Tony Yengeni. He was making headlines as the conference opened. Remind our viewers why.
So Tony Yengeni, allegedly, or according to him, was nominated by some members of the Veterans League. They approached him, they asked him if he can stand against Snugi Zikalala. He accepted that nomination. Whether that nomination was within the structures of the ANC or was at a branch level is still questionable, because as far as Figle Malula, who's the Secretary General of the ANC, said, as far as he understands and as far as the leaders who are convening this conference, as far as they understand, Tony Yengeni is not a delegate. He is only invited to attend tomorrow, which is the last day of the conference, as a former NEC member of the ANC and also the former NEC member of the Veterans League. There is no way, as far as their record are concerned, that he was ever nominated within the structures of the ANC Veterans League. So because of that, he cannot contest, and as a result, he is not contesting at this point.
Talk us through what to expect today.
So today, the veterans could not get to nominations late yesterday because of time. We're dealing with senior citizens here. By 7 o'clock, they had to go and sleep. They had to go and take their medication. So the ANC feels if they need to release them early. So they're going to start with nomination of the top officials. These are top 5 leaders of the ANC. We will expecting Mr. Snugi Zikalala to run uncontested, and also the rest of the officials. But also they will be dealing with with commissions today, where they will be discussing the actual content, the actual resolutions, getting to those constitutional amendments, the issue of coalitions, the issue of credibility of the members, but also the issue of making sure that the ANC rises above 50+% beyond the 2024 election. So that's the business of the day. And then later on, they'll be dealing with nominating of the rest of the NEC members. And then tomorrow, we're expecting the president of the ANC to close that conference.
In terms of relevance and importance of this particular structure for the mother body, how do they characterize it?
So remember, it's very difficult if you are not having a credible or official voice as an elected structure within the ANC. That has been the problem that has been facing the ANC Youth League for the past 8 years, because they do not have a structure that has elected leadership. So it was very difficult for them to express their concerns, to share their policy directions. So that has been the case for the Veterans League over the past 2 years. So with them having an elected leadership from beyond tomorrow, it's going to be easy for them to call on the ANC to take serious decisions, especially on these matters they are raising about this issue of coalitions. They are saying that the ANC must not be entertaining any talks of coalition, especially with the EFF, because they're saying that morally and historically they don't have any commonalities between them and the EFF. So for them to be able to express that decisively and clearly to the NEC of the ANC, they need to be representing a structure, and you can only be representing the structure if you're an elected leadership. So that's why it is very, very important for them to ensure that they succeed with this particular conference, so that they can be able to have a credible voice, so that the ANC officials and the broader structures of the ANC can be able then to take their concerns, can be able to listen to them. So it's a very, very important moment for them. But also remember that there's Integrity Commission of within the ANC, which is usually made up of senior citizens or members of former veterans or current veterans. So they'll also be adding that voice of races. They'll be able to call on the ANC current leaders to say, guys, this is not how we do things within the movement. And also, actually, Fikile Mbalula alluded to that point, that they must be able to call them to order because they are young. They do not have the experience that the Veterans League have. But we're not sure whether that's going to happen practically when things get tough.
Indeed. Ziniko Mhlaba, thank you very much for that report.